Hey, happy Tuesday. Here we are at Unlocking Live. Super duper, alley-ooper, excited to have you today as we are going to launch our first, the all-new Unlocking Live. This is where you can come on the live show, whether you're an Unlocking Your Book member or a non-unlocking your book, but would be, could be, should be, ought to be unlocking your book member, and come in and pitch your book live to a publisher. Pitch your questions. Ask us any question about marketing, your voice, messaging. Share about your book. Come on in and share your story, or just come in and testify what's been happening as your book has gotten unlocked. It's really, really simple to sign up and get in line. There is a ton. We have at least 3 or 4 people that are going to be joining us live today. They're going to pitch their book. They're going to ask a question, and go ahead and ask the really hard questions. That's okay too. They're going to come in, maybe share about their book or testify. If you want to get in line for the Unlocking Your Live show, that's where myself, Krissy, and sometimes our whole crew will sit one-on-one with you, or I should say our team and you, and you have all of our undivided attention for the next 10 to 15 minutes so that we can just coach you and we can help unlock you in a live environment. All right, so let's bring on my co-host, Dr. Krissy Nelson. She's in the house. Krissy, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastico, as they would say in other parts of the country.
Well, that's good. It's a good day, huh?
Yeah. Hey, great picture of you, by the way, on our little graphic there.
Right there. Thank you, Jeremiah Yancy. And yours is so good too.
Yeah, I have tons of those. Those that are of mine. Yeah, I've got lots like that. But it's easy because we have all this video content of you. So now we can do like these screenshots, and we can just grab these pictures and wait till the GIFs start coming out, where we start taking the heads and we're making the eyebrows move, and all this kind of stuff. Okay.
Wow.
Excited about Unlocking Your Live. This is a brand new segment of the show. Now, tomorrow on the Unlocking Your Book live show, we have speaker, author, minister Kyle Winkler. He'll be joining us. That's tomorrow at 12:30. But Unlocking Your Live is unique because right here, live on YouTube, live on Facebook, Instagram TV, we're going to have people come inside one-on-one with us, pitch their book, pitch their idea, ask us any question. You don't have to be an Unlocking Your member, but I'll tell you right now, there's a line of people waiting to get in. I think it's like 20 people or something like that. Now, if you want to get on Unlocking Live, all you got to do is email Liz, that's Liz, at unlockingyourbook.com. Liz, Liz, at unlockingyourbook.com. She's probably watching live, and she's probably with us. So, all right, let's rock and roll. We are going to have Amy is going to be joining us here. Let's say in the next 60 seconds, Amy's going to come in. She has, I don't know if she has a question. I don't know if she's pitching her book. I don't know exactly what it is that she's coming on, but I'm really, really excited to have her on with us today. This is cool. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it. This is like, yes, this is what it's all about for me. This Absolutely. Is why we're doing what we're doing.
That's right. And it's people, right? This is all about people.
Yeah.
Everything that we're doing, the membership, the publishing, it's all about people. And Liz right now is saying, hey, I want to hear from you. She wants to hear from you. So get in line. I mean, I'm going to just be honest with you. If more people want to do this, then maybe we'll open up another day. I don't know. I'm open. I'm willing to do that. So thanks for joining us, guys. Really glad to be here with you. We've got Amy coming on. She's coming on here in the next 20 seconds. You know what's kind of cool about this is I love the risk factor here, right? Where we don't actually know exactly what they're going to say or what they're going to, I mean, they may come on and totally just ask us something that we don't know. And so when that happens, I just leave right? I'll
Right.
just like disappear, right? I'll just say, okay, Chris.
And I'll say, let's pray.
But here's the objective. God just put this into our spirit that we want in this moment. For some of you, you know, you're going to ask a technical question, a logistical question, and boom, we're going to answer that question and done. And you can move on and do the next thing that you need to do. But for some of you, it's like you really need some help unlocking and navigating where you're supposed to go next, the next thing that you're supposed to be doing, the next step, and getting some clarity about the book, the message that's on the inside of you. So here we go. Let's rock and roll. Let's make this happen. Amy's coming in. Here we go. Amy. And Amy, you'll have to. Amy, how's it going?
Hey, Amy.
Good. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Tell us, just like, give us 10, 30 seconds. Tell us a little bit about you. You're a member of Unlocking Your Book, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty new. I've been around for like a couple weeks, and so
Okay.
I can give you some like background with my journey and stuff like that, and like what brought me to Unlocking Your Book, just for like a soft introduction. I'm one of those people with technical questions, but it'll be good to chat about a few other things. So, yeah, my book is kind of like a glory girls book. Except
Okay.
like these girls that go on this like epic adventures, and I already have a name. I've had so much prophetic confirmation about this book, it's like shocking, and everyone's just like pushing me. They're like, do this book already, Amy, just do it. And yeah, so
Awesome.
it's kind of going to be like the Twilight series. Like, it's going to be like this supernatural thriller with some romance, but with Christian spirituality.
Okay, cool. We need that. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So obviously we're talking fiction here,
Yeah.
and which is like, you know, that's been a huge question for people that have joined Unlocking Your Book. Like, can you publish fiction? Yes. Can you help unlock fiction? Absolutely. So tell us a little, like, what's your question? What can we just nail for you today?
Well, I guess I'm really interested in the VIP membership. Like, I had so much of like the impartation and mentorship and support from within my own community that's like pushing me that I kind of just joined Unlocking Your Book to make sure like I was getting the mechanics right, and that was kind of a check mark. So I was like, oh, that's refreshing, because I kind of needed that validation. But so I'm like halfway through my draft, and I'm following like the mechanics that Krissy talks about, and I believe it's like module 2. So that was kind of a weight off my shoulders to know that I have my mechanics in the right place. But so now I'm starting to like think about publishing, which could be in the next like, oh, that's cute. Someone left a comment. Anyways, I'm starting to think about publishing, and I'm in quarantine right now, and I'm just like pounding away on the writing. Right, I got a word from someone who's like, what did Apostle Paul do when he was in jail? He wrote, and it was the most offensive, or not offensive, powerful. He went from the defense to the offense in God's kingdom. I'm like, okay, I'm going on the offense, right?
Yeah.
So some of my considerations on the publishing side is that I've had some kind of feedback from some local authors, and they said I'm in Canada, and they said it's always good to have a local supplier. And I'm kind of concerned that like there might be ongoing international shipping issues, like with COVID-19, or just in Canada, US in general. So like, do I have permission to use like a local backup publisher within the VIP membership kind of terms?
Okay, that's a really deep question, like super deep. And I definitely have somewhat of an answer for you, but I think I'll probably have to also refer to our publishing manager to get a little bit more. Now, Canada is not going to be as difficult and challenging as stuff that's like over the pond, right?
Yeah.
So Canada, we can ship, we can publish, we can distribute anywhere on the planet, anywhere in the world. But Canada, while there might be a few challenges, would not have nearly as many challenges as some places that might be like over on the other side of the Great Big Water. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to put you in touch with our publishing manager to give you some clarity on that. But here's the thing, whether you do the pay as you go, because we have two publishing options, whether you do the pay as you go publishing or the VIP publishing, and VIP simply means it's coaching, it's advanced marketing. So regardless of what you do there, you have 100% royalties and 100% copyright of the book. So what the subscription does, whether it's VIP or whether it's pay as you go, simply means we are acting and positioning and functioning as your publisher. But we don't control royalties, we don't control copyright, and we don't control any of the rights at all to your book. So you can do whatever you need to do. And if you needed to go with another publisher, again, the challenge is probably going to be more with another publisher than it would be with us, because again, you own it. We don't own your rights at all. We're just giving you the marketing. We're publishing your book, advanced coaching and mentoring, and getting your book out there, getting your message out there. But traditional publishers probably wouldn't want to touch something that had already been published with a publisher. But I think the specific concern for you is some of the shipping and distribution challenges now with, the virus and some of the changes that are going to come. I personally don't think you're going to see a big issue. I really don't. Specifically for Canada. But what I'm going to do, Liz, I'm just going to give you a quick shout out, if you would just make a note, Liz Pittman. So she's one of our UYB team members. Liz, if you just make a note and make sure that Amy gets put in touch with our publishing manager, and we'll take care of that for you so that you get all of your questions. But number one, you own all the rights, so you really can do all you want. That payment simply means we're functioning as your publisher and give you all the support so that you can go through those milestones of publishing. But I really don't see a main problem at all.
Okay, that's good to know. And I think I would only really want kind of like a box and go publisher, mainly for backup supply. Like I know a lot of self-publishing places, they're just like, print your books, box them up, there you go. Like, market it yourself. So that's all I'd really be looking at. But just wanted to make sure there was like clarity on that and that there was no conflict between my membership or any other publishing. But so for me, I already know this is a series. I tell people about my concepts, and it's mostly from like God encounters and people's jaw drops, and they're like, you have a series. I was like, okay. And even like, this is like very much like a God thing. A couple of weeks ago, I was on like one of those prophetic encouragement chats, and just a prophetic guy. And he's like, there's someone on here that's writing like a girl's action novel. I'm like, me. And he said to me, he's like, you kind of like saw it in the glory realm. Like, you know how people always pray for their blueprint from heaven? He's like, you have your blueprint. You got to do this. Just do it. And then I'm like, okay. I'm like, I need to resource myself better. And that's why like, I went to the Unlocking Your Book community. So it's like all in my journals and stuff like that. But it's like this prophet kind of saw the substance and the blueprint already. And he's just affirming like, yes. And so that was like the second major confirmation I'd had about my book since January. Another guy, prophetic guy, he said, you're going to sound like a trumpet and hit like a hammer with this book. I was like, okay, God, I'm writing. So anyway, that's just some of my journey. And so I'm excited about the branding, because honestly, with the VIP thing, I want to look at branding a series right from the start. But I think once I like hand in my questionnaire, it'll make more sense.
Yes.
Like what exactly like my branding goals are and things like that. So I am really excited just about the long-term relationship aspect of it, and respect that like you're moving it in that direction. So
It definitely sounds like the VIP publishing would be ideal for someone like you if you have lots of books in you, because it just streamlines the cost. Essentially, it's just the same. It's fixed every month, and you're, and you get to keep cranking out books, and there's not that question mark of the fluctuation of expenses. Really, just to put it very, like as a business sense, like you're clearly an author with a plethora, as we like to say around here, of books in you. So just kind of sitting back and resting in that process, and then letting us kind of have your back in the details and the logistics. And ultimately, I'm glad you asked that question about shipping in Canada. I've seen it many times come up, that question. I remember Crystal asked that question, and so she's watching now. So hopefully that helped her. And then we'll get you in touch with the publishing person. But with it being on Amazon, people can order from all over the world, and they can just hop right on there and order it, and they're paying their shipping and things. So that helps. But we're excited to have you a part of the membership.
Yes,
you popped on today.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes, go ahead.
So once you become like a VIP member, is any of it like considered like a publishing contract, or is it like a gym membership? Just, I'm trying to like make sure that there's like anything else I should understand, even just on a contractual basis, like what the membership means or entails, or if there's like cancellation or release, like, I'm not looking for a cancellation, but if I had to, what would that involve?
Absolutely. You absolutely have an exit strategy. So what it is whether you do pay as you go or VIP, the big difference really with VIP is the advanced coaching and the advanced marketing. That's the big difference there. And you don't have to do the pay as you go milestones, except for the editing. If your editing is like horrid, there'll be some extra expense just for editing. But as far as us, that subscription, we are functioning as your publisher. So we're doing everything that a traditional publisher would do for you, except we're not taking any royalties. We don't keep any of the copyright. And we're also not going to be focusing on putting it in the bookstores, because we are marketing heavy using social media and using your online presence. So all that means, though, is if you decide that you're going to cancel that relationship, there's no contract. It's just if you quit the subscription or you go a different route, that's it. It just means that the support that you had access to on a daily basis is no longer there. Okay. But you own the book, and you can do anything that you need and anything that you want. So it's not quite like a gym membership, because the things that you pay for in advance, you will always have access to the mentoring. The 37 plus videos on all of the mentoring, you have access to the course, the Unlocking Your Book course, forever. It's yours. But with the VIP publishing, if you were to cancel that, that simply just means that the access to the advanced coaching no longer exists.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds good. Well, thanks so much for answering my questions. I was like thinking of all this detailed stuff, and the text people were like, just talk to Jeremiah and Krissy on the live thing. I was like, all right, I'm in. So
there you go. Perfect. Thank you so much, Amy.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Appreciate you.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Blessings. All right. Bye. Woohoo. Awesome possum. We're having fun. Okay, so next we have, looks like we got who is it? Donna. I think we have Donna's coming up. Donna, get ready. Donna, you are coming on. No, I apologize. It's Deb. Deb is coming on. Here we go. Hey, Deb, how are you? How can we help today?
Hey, guys. Good to see you.
Hey, you too.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So I have a little bit of testimony and a couple questions. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Bring it on.
What do you want me to start with?
Whatever works for you.
Okay. Before I forget my question. My question is, I plan on writing multiple books and probably a series or two. After I joined Unlocking Your Book, I mentally put the book I was planning to write on God's altar And I saw a vision of him multiplying it into a stack and breathing fire on it and then handing me the flaming stack back. So that was kind of my confirmation that, this is going to be what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, if I did eventually want to get into bookstores in addition to the online and the electronic, how would that look?
So, for example, if you were doing pay-as-you-go or you were VIP publishing, you've got your book out, you published your book, you're in the subscription, all cylinders are firing, but then at some point you decide you actually want your books to get into the bookstores and onto the shelves. What would that look like with us as your publisher? That's the question.
Yes. Is that something you could eventually offer? Is that something I could do through you?
Yeah, so we will have another upgrade that's later where you're maybe have some access to a publicist or some different things, and that would not be specifically through unlocking your book. It would be through our partner company called Messenger Books.
Okay.
It's definitely not our focus, and the reason it's not our focus is because we've got so many people that are in the marketing background, and we understand funnels and social media and content and curation, that we really feel like, especially until you get into like that top 10 tier of authors, that the focus is you really want to build your audience. So if you want to move the needle with your books, if you want to move the needle with what that stack of books to be on fire, then social media and connecting with your ideal audience is absolutely key. In fact, a traditional publisher that would put it into the bookstores or get it onto the shelves, which anyone that goes through our course can certainly do that, they're going to be looking for you to be doing the audience building. And you might even have a great book and a great message, but they may not publish the book simply because you don't have that audience yet. Right. So in the future, and actually, if you go to the website, unlockingyourbook.com/get published, you'll see on the VIP publishing, it actually has a breakdown. It has an outline of all the different bullet points. And it says that you have the option to later, this would be after your first book, of course, later to publish with our parent company, Messenger Books. And so that would be a different relationship, and that would give you the option if that is something that you wanted to do. And it's not like we're trying to discourage people from the bookstores. It's just, if you want to really move the needle in getting your message out, it's not the bookstores. It's definitely connecting and building your audience on social media.
Well, one of my plans is, so my daughter's 11, and I'd love to write an adventure kind of spiritual warfare series for that age, because there's really nothing out there. There's nothing out there. So that was my kind of like, I wonder if that would do better in the bookstores, or how does that marketing work with a younger demographic? Yeah,
well, it wouldn't be on it. Well, it could still be on Facebook, because you want to get a parental buy-in too. But then you'll have to get creative and really identifying who is my ideal reader. So if your ideal reader, if that's like, preteen and middle school age, we call that the larva stage, right? But if they're in the preteen or the middle school age, then you're going to need to target the people that are going to be paying for it, which is going to be mom and dad and grandma and grandpa. They'll be on Facebook, but then you're also going to have to be doing things like TikTok and Instagram and different things of that nature, so that, which is not difficult, it's not challenging, but you're going to have to create curiosity with that ideal audience, and then you're going to have to get the buy-in with mom and dad.
Maybe I'll use my daughter to help with the marketing on those.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I'll have her make a video. Okay, thank you. That answers my question.
Okay.
So I'll give you a little background. My book is going to be, my first book is going to be my testimony. I was a Christian as a child, but grew up in a very religious, controlling, strict household, kind of an abusive household. So I got away from that, in my teens. By the time I hit 30, I was pretty much angry, hurt, lost, agnostic / atheist. basically my world fell apart and I became suicidal. Probably right around this time 7 years ago. And it was only by, turning back to the Lord and realizing that he loved me and he had a plan for my life is what saved me. Because I had multiple attempts. And it wasn't until, I realized that until he said so, he was in control. And that's what I was missing. Yeah. And it's really going to be, I guess, kind of my journey up to that point, and then my journey from that point, just the healing and probably the spiritual warfare to stay free of that kind of stuff. And I'm still healing. It takes a long time, but I will say, praise God, I'm free of that, and I'm very cautious of ever, you recognize it now. You recognize that kind of stuff. So I want to help people that may be struggling with that kind of thing. I know, hopelessness and loss and just suicide, just even among young people, is on the rise. Yep. And I just really felt him telling me, it's time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I love that it's like you're taking a proactive approach to your story, and you're intercepting people at such an impressionable age in that preteen time with truth and with this book series that you're doing to prevent them from getting to what, you journeyed, and you're doing that. And it's super, I just see like a trail blazing, that your books, I just see like a trail blazing with fire going before these young people that will read your book. And, it's preventative, it's prevention by them understanding, spiritual warfare and how there's an enemy of their soul, and how there's also the army of God, the angels fighting and warring on their behalf. I really see that. It reminds me of the Frank Peretti books, This Present Darkness and Piercing the Darkness. And
I love those. It'll have to be a little named down probably. But
we need new books like that. And so thank you for doing that. Those are very needed. And I just see it. And I see it really very, very much for girls. And it must be because you have a daughter and stuff. And I just can see like you're definitely writing with your daughter in mind, and thinking about your own journey. And this is important. Our girls need to know that they're champions, and that they are warriors, and that they have an army of angels fighting on their behalf with them as they go. So thank you for doing it
so much. Thank you. Great confirmation.
Yeah.
And we support you, Debbie, in this massive challenge to be a voice and to be a messenger to not just young girls or young people, but anyone that is suffering, is feeling, is under that attack, under the oppression, under the depression, under the heaviness of feeling so hopeless that they want to take their life. It's a real thing, and it's rampant. And I want to applaud you, and I want to congratulate you for being willing. And then those of us that are hearing you and listening and watching you to get around you. And although the enemy and circumstances in life would want to keep you from advancing, moving forward, you keep pressing into that, because those young people and those people that feel that hopelessness, they feel that heaviness, they need to hear your story, and they need to know how you overcame it. And that ultimately Jesus was the answer for you, and Jesus is the answer for them. And God has anointed you to break off hopelessness, to break that off. So go forth and break off that hopelessness. We stand behind you 100%. 100%.
You guys, you all have just been amazing. And it has really just, from the minute I joined, from the first session, he has just really just taken off. Amazing.
Good. How far are you in your writing are you working on your book right now, or have you started the series for the kids?
That's part of my thing right now. I'm like, okay, what am I focusing on? Okay. I feel like I'm supposed to probably get my story out first. And I think the ebook, I've heard you all say stuff about the ebook needs to address how you got there, and then leave them with the questions. So it builds up anticipation for the book. So I'm trying to figure out which part of my story that needs to be. I've got a little bit of the ebook done, and I've probably got like 4 or 5 chapters of the book done. I don't have an outline. I just kind of sat down and started writing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I need to, go back and do my outline and then start writing again, or how that should look.
Yeah.
Which publishing are you doing? Are you doing pay as you go or VIP?
I'm doing VIP because, I joined this in January because basically I lost my job.
Yeah.
And I had already known that I was supposed to write, and just kind of pushed it away. Didn't really believe it. And it just like hit me. I was sitting at work. I was almost in tears because just, my work had dried up, and it was very obvious that it wasn't going to pick back up, even though I'd been praying and pressing. And I was like, oh my God, if I'm going to write, now's the time. Got on my phone, started looking at Facebook because I was trying not to cry in front of people. And here comes Unlocking Your Book. And I was like, signing up.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. The Lord is going to give you clarity. He's going to give you direction. There's blueprints that are coming. You don't have to worry. You don't have to fear. God has you. He's orchestrated all of these steps leading up to this point, and moving forward is no different. And I just want to pray over you, because with what your story is, the enemy would love to. What I see is, as you write, wounds will open up as you pour out. But the Lord says to fear not, because those wounds they're not reappearing. They're just opening so that you can pour out of that place, that authentic place of what it felt like when you were experiencing. Okay. But God has you, and he's shielding you. I actually see like this oil of his presence all around you as you're writing. So when that happens and you're writing and you're feeling like, oh my goodness, I just see this moment where you're like, oh no, is this pain again? Am I not healed? The Lord says, no, you're healed and you're whole. And just to know that there is a shield, a force all around you of his presence, and the enemy can't get in while you're vulnerable, that you will be protected and safe in your vulnerability as you write and as you pour out, because the Lord wants you to pour out from that authentic place. But just know that as you get it out, like more healing is coming, it comes as you do it. And the strength, it's like a break in a bone. When it heals, it's stronger than ever. So as you write and you allow yourself to write out of brokenness, like, you know what I'm saying? You're whole, but you're beautifully broken before the Lord because you're available, right? Yeah. And so there's a strength that's coming. So I just want to speak, I just speak a blessing over you as a sister in Christ and a fellow writer, that Father, I thank you for your shield around Deb, that as she writes, I just partner with your promise that no weapon formed against Deb will prosper, and she will write out of wholeness and yet out of being beautifully broken at the feet of Jesus, like Mary's alabaster box that she poured out and broke all over the Lamb, that Deb just pours it all out and breaks her heart wide open before the Lamb as you write. And he sits with you and he writes with you and through you. And I just bless you in as a sister in Jesus' name.
Thank you so much. That is exactly what I needed to hear, because stuff has gotten stirred up, and I drew back a little bit because
that's normal. That's
I like it.
Yes, yep, that's normal, and it's okay.
Amen.
All right. Thank you so much, Deb, for being on with us.
I love your spirit and your love and your prayers. And I just felt his presence just all over me when you were praying. So thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. God bless you. Well,
come on. Good stuff. Good stuff. And that's why this is why it's so important that we have community, that we have connection. For the writer and for the author, your mindset has to change from just, I'm going to sit at my desk, sit in my corner, and isolate and insulate and write this book and grind it out. Certainly, there are times, there are blocks, there are seasons that you do that. You sit down, you put your head down, and you just go. There's seasons for that. But you're not just a writer, you're not just an author, you're a messenger. There's a message, a DNA, a wiring, something that's on the inside that has to come out, has to permeate from everything that you're doing, everything that you're saying, all of the way that you're acting, the way that you're valuing, the way that your belief system is, so that you don't just think like a writer or an author that's got to grind out this book. No, it's a messenger. It's the messenger life. This is a calling and a mandate. Like if you were called to be a prophet, or you were called to be a teacher, you were called to be a missionary, you were called to administration, whatever that calling is, your writing is a calling and an anointing as a messenger. So there's a voice, and the voice has to be discovered, and the voice has to be clarified. And when I say discovered, I don't mean that people have to discover you, because people don't actually have to discover you to be the voice of God. People don't have to applaud you or congratulate you to be the messenger. You just have to be discovered by God and developed by God. But what this community does, the Unlocking Your Book community, is it helps shed off the garbage, right? It helps break the arm of the enemy. It helps clarify when you're under something that God didn't call you to be under. It helps lift you up when you need to be lifted up. And that's what's so awesome about the Unlocking Live show and all of that, but the community of people just like you, other messengers for such a time as this, that have said yes to the Lord and keep giving God their yes. We want to help you. You do not have to do this alone. You just don't. You don't have to do this alone. Now it looks like we do. Aaron, looks like we have Aaron is coming in. So Aaron, in the next few seconds here. Fantastic. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Mary, you're so funny.
Mary.
Today. Love that kid. All right, let's bring in Aaron. So now, guys, if you are watching right now and you're like, I totally want to pitch my book, you don't have to be an Unlocking Your Book member. I want to pitch my book. I want to pitch my idea. I want to ask my question. Bring it on. Send an email to liz@unlockingyourbook.com. Get yourself into the queue. We're going to be doing this a couple of times a week. Here we go. Coming your way, Aaron. Aaron,
Hi.
how are you doing?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Thanks for patience as I get the video figured out.
Oh, good. Hey, how can we help you today?
Okay. So I want to repitch my book because the last time I felt like it really helped me, and I feel like it helped develop me understanding the message, but more than that, just being able to articulate it and be attached to it. So anyway, so I just want to repitch the book. And Krissy wasn't with us the last time.
I watched though. I watched and I
you
listened. Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yep,
So
bring it on.
Okay. So the book is, for those who didn't see it before, the book is going to be called Dominion, A Call to Environmental Stewardship for the Believer. And I feel like I have this really exciting message that may be geared to millennials, but anybody who just really enjoys and values aspects of creation. But what I want to do is I want to invite believers to buy into the idea that environmental stewardship is part of co-laboring and co-reigning. And I was actually just on a conference call with Georgia and Winnie Banov yesterday. I worked for their missions department, and Winnie said, she's like, guys, she's like, we have to make sure that co doesn't become a trendy word, but it means like the closest possible union, so really environmental stewardship becomes like this aspect of our union with Christ, and doing that we release. I just want, I want to get people empowered and excited about just co-reigning in this area of dominion, because there's different aspects of dominion, but this is one aspect that the Lord's laid on my heart.
Yes.
Yeah. I love it. I love that you're doing what you're saying, because you're stewarding the message that God is giving you by writing about it. So clearly it's on his heart, and clearly he wants others to hear it and to glean from it and apply it, so that it's like we then take that responsibility onto ourselves by reading what you've put in front of us. We then have a choice to make, as the reader. Am I going to subscribe to this facet of the heart of God, to steward well his creation, and all that entails? Or am I going to choose to ignore that? And that's massive. You're helping to facilitate this, like I said, this facet of God's heart. And it's very needed. And I don't know of anybody that's doing that. And you're very clear. I love that you repitched it, because you were able to say it and pitch it even more concisely than before. I love that. I can see that the unlocking has happened, and you're so clear on your message. So that's powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. I the other thing that I felt like just the Lord showed to me last night was also, it's like we're stripping away the political aspect. We're stripping away the fear, that is attached, especially for young people, because they're taught to be afraid. And, I'm watching my boys, they're learning the same things I was learning 20 some years ago. And I'm telling them, boys, look, yes, like we have to care about what God's made, but we don't have to be afraid. And anyway, so we get to do this as a partner of Yeshua the Messiah. And so thank you for hearing me. Do you have any feedback else I need to work on as I move forward?
Where are you, Aaron, in the process right now of the mentoring and the modules? Where are you at in that process right now?
Yeah, so I'm a little bit all over the place. I was doing, I was in module 3, and I heard you say a couple of times that not to miss any of the ones in module 2. So I just went back to check, because I felt like maybe I had missed one or two. But I have already started writing down my one-liners. I have a section of that. In terms of one-liners, I want to get the module 3 stuff done so that I can start the marketing side of my book. I'm already at 25,000 words. But that's because I started writing last summer without any mentoring. So I was already putting words, down before I had a plan in place. So I have to go back and make plan.
I think it's going to be, since you already have 25,000 words, I think it's going to be really, real important you got to go through module 2 so that you can get the mechanics part. But then as you're going through the mechanics, Aaron, I want to encourage you, don't second guess the work that you've done. Okay. So 25,000 words, that's an awesome accomplishment. You're more than halfway there, depending on, what you're shooting for, 30, 40, 50, whatever that is. But don't second guess your work. I would do module 2. And then if you've got a lot of module 3, the marketing part, something that's going to really, really help you move the needle, because you have so much written already, is the unique value proposition. So I would really encourage you, you might want to watch that and participate in that and go through the exercises and the lessons of the unique value proposition, because you have a unique message, there's a unique voice. But since you already have content, getting that content that you've already written, don't second guess it. Don't belittle that content, and get it out there. That's going to be, because you've got to create awareness, and then you're going to need that creative. Just listening to you, this is the second time that talk to you live. You're very creative. There's a lot of creativity there. And just listening to your ideas and the vision and what God has put on the inside of you, you have that creativity. And you're going to need that creativity to unpack this messaging and put it out into the platform so that people can understand it and create that awareness. So I think, it's module 2, getting the mechanics out of the way. It's don't second guess the content that you've already created. And then third, get into the unique value proposition, your unique value proposition, so that your messaging gets really clear. Start taking those 25,000 words and get it out there. Post, do video, do everything you possibly can to start creating that awareness. And as you're doing that, because you're a creative, because you're a writer, more things will unlock and the clarity will come as you're doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That was actually an amazing, I did do that part of module 3. The unique proposition, value proposition. I'm sorry. So that was a really good one. And then also I need to go back, and Krissy, I just listened yesterday, 2 days ago. I listened to one about building your support, and I hadn't done that yet. So it was over weekend because we were traveling. I made a list of the people that I'm going to reach out to, and I started doing that yesterday. So I'll do that. And I'm going to go back over the value proposition then, and then try to keep moving forward.
Good. Yeah, that's so important.
Thank you. I think that's pretty much it for now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Erin.
Yeah. Thank you guys for all you're doing for us. All right. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Blessings. Awesome. Okay, we have one more coming into the Unlocking Live. And if you want to get on Unlocking Live, it's so simple. We're doing this weekly. Just send an email to Liz at unlockingyourbook.com, and she will put you on the list. And Liz will put you on the Liz list and get you into the queue. You've heard of Craig's list and Angie list. This is Liz list. Yes. And we'll put you, so you don't have to hope, cross your fingers and, hope that you get into. You can get on the list and make sure that you get a spot. So we got Donna coming to us live here in the next 30 seconds. This is Jeremiah Yancy and Dr. Nelson joining you here. And maybe you're listening and you're watching right now and you're like, man, what is this, all this Unlocking Your Book stuff? You can go to unlockingyourbook.com, become a member. You can get started. You can learn all about it. You can unlock your book, write your book, promote, and publish your book with us. So here we go. Donna's coming on the show. Hey, Donna, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We are blessed. All that and a bag of chips. Thanks for asking.
Hey, Donna.
Sandwiches. Hi. I like that. My question is, my story is really kind of unusual and sort of strange. And because it's really not, I don't know how to put it, it's just not your average story. And so because of that, it's been tough for me to kind of make a transition for it. I started writing it a while ago. And because we had gone to the Leaders Advance at Reading, and they just kept on, the students just come up to you. They're so cute. They just come up to you and they just say whatever's on their heart or whatever they're hearing Father say. And I got to the point where I thought, man, do I have a pencil hanging out of my head or something, or what's going on here? Because it's just like, okay, all right. And then it was very difficult to publish in Canada. And so I just kind of left it alone because I started writing, and it was just like, okay, so this is a total waste of time. Like, I'll just, whatever, who cares? And then Unlocking Your Book came open, and it was like, okay, Lord, I'll finish this. So now I've got this, story about my life story and what happened and how I met Jesus. But I had a friend read it and she said, so then what did you do with all that stuff that you went through? And I went, I don't know. And I felt really almost dull about the whole thing. I find it very difficult to step back from my own life and look at it and say, this is what it looks like. It's not being, it's just been weird because it's like, it's me. So how do I step back and say, what's that look like? When Krissy was talking about, finding your message or that unique value or whatever, I went, I don't know. And I felt like I was like 3 years old standing there with a lollipop in my mouth going, me and my Mary Janes aren't going to go anywhere, right? Mm-hmm. And so now I'm in this place where, and I discovered while I was writing the ebook that I'm kind of not a marathon writer, which is kind of weird. Like I'm more of a sprinter. Like I'll get a feeling inside of me about somebody will say something to me and it'll concern me, and I'll go, I don't understand that. Like I don't think that's in the word. And then I go on a hunt and I have to figure out if that's really in the word or not, because it bugs me. Because in my opinion, we believe a lot of stuff in the church that probably isn't in the word. Okay, so don't send any hate mail. Anyway, so then I go on a hunt. So I do a lot of my things are very word studies, that kind of thing, which thrills me to pieces. But other people go giant snore, don't want to hear about it. So now I'm thinking I probably need to do a devotion. And my question is, can I take my life story and all the stuff that I've gone through, and can I then take the things that I've learned and put it into a devotion? Can you kind of put the two things together and not have it seem stupid or kind of disjointed or not fit right?
Absolutely. In fact, when you said, as you were talking about your process and your story and your journey and where you're at, that was the word that I heard in my spirit was a devotional. Especially when you said that you're not a marathon, you're more of a sprinter type of writer. Mm-hmm. So I love devotionals. Publishers love devotionals. People love devotionals.
Really? I've never read one.
Yeah. So
they're great.
They're simple and easy to consume, and social media and all of our technology has made it so easy for us to be able to curate and splinter and break up this content and put it into a devotional format, something that people can consume and get a takeaway quicker rather than reading throughout the whole book. And what may happen for you, Donna, is that you might start that process. I think breaking down the outline of your story, and then what are the key takeaways in the story? Like, what is the problem? How does the problem get fixed? And as you're doing that, you're putting those into devotional format. But then as you write a devotional, and maybe you start with a 21-day devotional, a 30-day devotional, and it can grow. It can evolve, it can expand. And eventually something like a 21-day or a 30-day devotional could turn into a 52-week devotional. And then that can evolve into a 365-day devotional. And then what you're going to find as you are doing the work, things are going to get clearer. You're going to get more understanding. God's going to speak to you. He's going to sharpen you and give you real keen prophetic insight into your story and how it applies into small takeaways. That's what a devotion is. Yeah. And the actionable activation that's inside of those devotions. Mm-hmm. What you might find is that it empowers you because of the process. The training, the unlocking, the unpacking actually empowers you to at some point maybe do a mini book, a micro book, or go ahead and finish out the book. But don't feel like you have to write a 30, 40, 50,000 page book. If God calls you to just do devotionals, then just do devotionals. If that's the empowerment, that's how he's wired you, and that's the anointing, that's exactly what I would be doing, and I would do it yesterday.
It feels strange to me because I've just never read them. Like I've always felt that if I wanted to know what was in, like, I'll dig myself. I'll go in and do my own digging.
Yeah.
and that's how I kind of function. Is that
Mhm.
I just I learned long ago that I'm happier if I can do my own digging, and God really speaks to me through the original language, like really speaks to me, and I get all this stuff and I go, oh, it's so exciting, and then I try to explain it, and sometimes it's like, I almost hear them snoring. They're polite enough not to, but sometimes it can be, but it makes me happy because I get the actual context of what he's saying without
Yeah.
the other filtering of man's words,
Yeah.
which tends to irritate the bejeebers out of me.
Mhm.
So
I respect that a lot, and I relate to that. Where I know there's a lot of good advice about reading lots and lots of books when you're writing a book. I don't do that. I just write my book, and I don't read a lot of books, believe it or not. I read the ones that I want to vet to have on my show and stuff like that. And I have other people read them, and then I kind of skim through them, but so that I can get the good, just those key elements that I want to cover. But I'm intentional with that. And I feel that from the Lord just for my own life, because the flesh has such a tendency to compare. And I just feel the Lord for me, not wanting me to have that crutch or have that default. And so I relate to what you're saying. I see that all over you, and doing the digging for yourself is powerful. And then you write something that's so unique and it blazes a trail.
That's hard though, Krissy, because I hear stuff that I know is going to turn the body of Christ. Like they're going to throw their heads back and scream like they are. They're going to,
Well, but that's you don't worry about that outcome. You do what's right. That's your only job. You do what's right, and let the Lord deal with the outcome. As long as what you're doing is right. If you're doing what the Lord is showing you, which I believe you will and are, then that's your only, that as a writer, like I have to lean into that and live that.
I'm learning to let go of that thing, because it's like, just jump off the cliff, Donna, and just do it, but for me, like I came got saved out of the New Age. And so I have no desire to hear a bunch of blather about what somebody thinks, because that's what that is. That's what somebody thinks. It has nothing to do with what God knows and who he is. But, and it was a very intense meeting with him. And so because of that, it's driven me to know him. It's just driven. It's just like this drive, and it's driven me for over 40 years.
Yeah.
It just. So if I get people's filtering in there, I kind of go. It's not that I don't appreciate the spoken word or people's sermons and stuff, because you get so much from what your brothers and sisters can teach you, right? And there's some profundity that comes there, and so often, like even yesterday, I was listening to a young man, and I really heard Father say, "Get busy," and stop procrastinating, and stop, like, do what you got to do. Quit fooling around.
Yeah.
And so it was, you've been called, go and do it. Quit pretending like as if it doesn't exist. And so, it was really helpful with that. So it's not that I don't appreciate the spoken word. It's not that. It's just when I started applying it to my own life, I want to hear his heart and see his face and know of what I'm learning. I'm not interested in what people think necessarily, which sounds really kind of snotty. I don't mean to, but it's just how I feel about stuff, right?
Well, with your background of coming out of the New Age, I have the utmost respect for that. You're a seeker of truth. You want the truth. You want the real truth and nothing but the truth. So help you God. And that is that. And so, and because you've seen it perverted and twisted, and you have the fear of the Lord on you to not do that. And that's, yes, that we need that. We need books out of people, out of messengers who resolve to know nothing but Christ and him crucified, and it's no longer I that live, but Christ that lives in me. And you're writing from that place of truth, you in like Paul in the jail cell, and it was Holy Spirit and his hand and Paul's hand, just penning the words straight from heaven, fresh, revelatory truth words. And we need that. So keep doing that. And I wanted to encourage you with your story and being able to take that aerial view, that the more you write devotionals, blogs, those kinds of things, the more you will see your story. The Lord will show you your story, your testimony, and you will get that aerial view on it. It just happens. It's powerful, and you'll be able to write it. I see that all over you.
I've written a story. Like, I've written a story of coming out of that. Like, it's for me, it's been interesting coming on the other side of it, because even as a small child, I was a seer. Like, it didn't matter. I saw on the other side, but I still was a seer, and so I saw what was going on. Now, my mom was very spiritual, but she wasn't spiritually aware. So she didn't know what was going on inside of me as a kid, which was absolutely horrible, because I had no one to talk to about what I was going through as a child, seeing the other side of darkness, right? Mm-hmm. So those gifts were there, like, from the beginning. And so when you get saved, then Father redeems it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so then you see his side, which is amazing, and glorious and wonderful.
Wow.
But in terms of being able to pinpoint it and say that, my greatest struggle has been pinpointing what the message is. The message is like you said, Christ crucified, and him and me. And I'm not really there. It's not just one thing, right? Mm-hmm. It isn't just one thing. It's a life journey that takes different roads. It's kind of like a path, right? Mm-hmm. And the name of my book that I want to use is Intercepted, because that's really what happened. I was just going along in my crazy life, and I had my second child and died on the table and met Jesus. It was just that simple.
Wow.
Our story.
Yeah. Yeah. You have many, many, many books in you. There's a library inside of you, just multi categories. And so the Lord will give you vision for each one, boom, boom, one at a time. And you'll write with clarity and focus. So hone in on what you got in front of you right now, what's in your hand, go with that and keep going.
Start with what you got. Start with what you have. And the rest will come.
So it's okay to put the two things together then? Absolutely.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. You should. Because it's new. It's what you got. It's what the Lord's giving you. Do it.
And don't overthink, like Krissy said, don't overthink the outcome. Like, the outcome is God's responsibility. Yep. But your responsibility is to get started.
Yep.
I think my website should be, I love you all. Please don't send me hate mail.
Hey, it'll come. just keep going no matter what.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to be checking on you, Donna. You're going to be getting some email from us. We're going to be checking on you, make sure that you're getting that stuff.
Okay, I'll read.
All right. Now, are you in the publishing? Are you in publishing?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, then you'll be.
I did it deliberately. I tell you what, I debated right up to the last minute. Like, I was pretty sure I was going to throw the towel in and just go, I can't do this. I'm too freaking old. I'm 67. Good grief. I'm a grandmother. What in the world? Like, what are you thinking? And I thought, okay, I either get to choose to be obedient or I get to choose to be stupid. I guess I'll be obedient.
Obedient.
That's simple.
That is success. That's success. Mm-hmm. Obedience, no matter what it is and what it looks like to anybody else, including us. Obedience is success. So rock and roll. Glad you're in the publishing, because that just means we're coming for you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Please do.
We support you. We believe in you. We're here for you. Love you, Donna.
Thank you. Love you too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Donna. Appreciate it. Been awesome. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. This is a lot of fun. This is an incredible opportunity for you to get onto Unlocking Your Life. We do this every week now, a couple times a week. We can take up to 2 to 3 guests per show. If you want to get on Unlocking Your Life, send an email to Liz at unlockingyourbook.com. It's the Liz list. The Liz list. That'll get you in the door. Jesus and the shed blood will get you into heaven, but Liz List will get you onto the Unlocking Live show. And I'm telling you, you want to get on this show. You want to get on it because it's fun, and I won't let Krissy make fun of you. I won't let her pick on you. I won't let her say mean things about your dog or anything like that. We're just going to shoot straight, be real, and help you unlock your voice, your message, unlock your book.
Yeah.
So who's next? Now we'll be here tomorrow. Same bat time, same, actually not bat channel, because that bat channel is the live show, which is different than Unlocking Your Live. So we've got Kyle Winkler. So Kyle Winkler will be here with us tomorrow. It's going to be cool.
Indeed.
All right. Until next time, Austin and Yana, we appreciate you. It's been fun. It's been rad. All that and a bag of chips. Take care. Ta-ta. Farewell, my friends.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Happy day.